What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, thanks for watching. So here we are close to the end of May, and I decided to give you a sneak peek as to what it's like to be a part-time watch trader. If it's your first time here, I work a full-time job. I spend a few hours each week trading watches. I think it's the perfect side hustle. I get to wear a bunch of watches, meet a lot of cool people, and of course make some extra side income. So in this video, we'll talk about the watches I sold this month, what I sold, how I sold them, where and why I got the new inventory, and at the end of the video, I'll give you an idea of how much I made this month in flipping watches. Diving right into the first sale this month was May 1st. I sourced and sold a 2023 rose gold rhodium skydweller for a past client of mine. Side note, this is the most expensive piece I've ever sourced. I took his 2020 full rose root beer in on trade plus cash. To be fair, I don't think it's a good idea to talk about the specific numbers for each transaction, but I'll say that in my records, I treat each trade as a sell and a buy. So in my books, I sold this skydweller on May 1st and bought a root beer that day also. Whether it's cash to me or cash to him, in this case it's cash to me, I'll make the numbers work in my spreadsheet the most logical way possible. In the case of this skydweller, the profit was more than my normal transaction, but I think it's consistent with a sale that's over $40,000. So that watch sold on the 1st of the month. On May 5th, I closed the sale for a 2-trade deal. I sold this 2021 Girard-Perregaux all ceramic. I traded it for 2 watches, a brand new Breitling Super Ocean with the white dial. I think it's a beautiful watch. New unworn with stickers, complete just with no card. And also this gorgeous Grand Seiko Green Birch Boutique Edition. This one was complete with card. So I traded the GP for these 2 watches with cash on top to me. This Girard-Perregaux was sitting in my inventory for over a year. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have bought it. At the time, I thought this full ceramic watch, black, good looking, 42 millimeters, would have sold a lot quicker. But fast forward 12 months, I'm just glad to get rid of it. And in this case, for about a $400 loss. The next sale on May 12th was this 2021 126334 41 millimeter silver Datejust. This one had the fluted bezel and a silver dial. I got this watch in on trade from a deal back in April. I valued it safely. The fluted bezel is white gold, so it brings a little bit more of a premium versus a normal smooth bezel Datejust. But the silver dial is probably the least popular color, and people tend to not like the oyster bracelet as much either. After sitting for over a month, this watch got sold off to another dealer at a wholesale price. I made money on it, but less than my normal profit for a Rolex. Just a couple days later, on May 14th, I sold this 2023 Wimbledon. So this is also a Datejust, same reference number 126334, but this is one of the few Datejusts that sell over MSRP. The fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelet is the most popular combination, and the Wimbledon dial is iconic. I love watches like this because it's not quite new, and somebody's gonna get the exact same watch a year older and save about $1,000 or so. The watch was offered to me from a friend of mine, and I sold it to a wholesale dealer, but at a high wholesale price. Yes, I could have kept the watch longer and maybe made an extra $300 to $400 to a retail customer, but in this game of finding the retail customer, it's just as important to worry about cash flow. The next sale, May 18th, that Breitling Super Ocean sold, the one that I got on trade. This one sold to a reseller at a decent wholesale number. I'll tell you on this one, in my books, I made less than $150 on a $3,000 watch. At this point, it's not really worth my time or effort to maximize the value to make an extra $100 to $200 profit. So I sold it to a guy that I had worked with before. He Zelled me over the weekend prior to me sending the watch. It was a smooth and quick transaction. And to me, that was worth more than possibly getting more money for it by holding it long. Just the next day on May 19th, that Grand Seiko also sold. Same sort of situation as the Breitling. The dealer offered me a watch and cash for my watch. So I had never worked with this dealer before, but I checked him out and he turned out to be a trusted dealer, and it was an easy transaction. For reference, that Grand Seiko was worth about $6,000 to $7,000. So I made a few $100 on this trade. And honestly, at this level, the ease of transaction was more important to me. The watch traded to me was a 2020 IWC Spitfire. Decent looking watch. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's 39 millimeters. Online, they seem pretty popular. I think if I replace this strap, it should sell pretty quickly at this price point. Okay, on to the next watch. 2016 Batman. This was actually a buyback. I sold this a few months ago to a client. He asked if I could buy it back. I said, of course. These are classic pieces, and it's really a great value over the current 126710 BLNR. The two watches look exactly the same. So I sent him a label to ship it on a Friday. I received it on a Saturday. By Saturday night, the watch was sold. A friend, past client, really a friend, texted me as soon as he saw it on my Instagram and bought it. So like I said, it was sold within just a couple hours of me receiving it. Because he was a friend, I offered him a discount. He didn't even ask for it. So I made about half of what I normally would make in selling a Rolex, but still not bad for a couple hours of work. All right, 2 more to go. That root beer that I took on trade for that Sky Dweller, well, I traded that for an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore 43 millimeters. This one is the new one, the 2024, the 43 millimeters. So the first generation of the AP Royal Oak Offshore was 44 millimeters. A lot of people thought that that was too big. Then they came out with the 42 millimeters. I thought that was a good size. And then they came out with the 43, the in between. You can tell because this one's got the subdials at the 369 versus the 1296. Also, this one has the interchangeable straps. It's the quick change strap system. So I traded my root beer for his plus cash towards me. Honestly, I just did it because he wanted my root beer. I really wanted to wear his watch. Backstory on this one, he had actually sent it to me already. It was on consignment. I don't wear people's consignment pieces that I don't own. So it's just been sitting in my safe and I was dying to wear it. So I made the trade because I really wanted to wear it. I think it's a gorgeous looking watch. And then the last one that I sold this month was a 2023 126713 GRNR two-tone GMT, also known as the Bumblebee. I actually really like this watch. I'm usually not a big fan of two-tone watches, but in person, this looks stunning. The same guy sold it to me, the same guy that traded me for the root beer. I listed this one at a high retail price, and I kept on getting low balls for it. I don't know if it was Memorial Day or just getting an unnormal amount of low ball offers this month, and I'll talk about that in a second as well. Ended up selling this one for a high wholesale price. The guy that bought it from me, who was a dealer, already had a buyer lined up for it. That's why he paid so much. So in summary, that's 9 transactions this month. If you're keeping score, I bought 2 of them from wholesale groups. The first Sky Dweller that I sourced, I already had a deposit and it was sold before I bought it. And then that black ceramic GP. So 2 out of the 9 I bought in wholesale groups. For reference, I sold 7 watches a month ago in April. 2 of those were from wholesale groups. So between the 2 months, 25% of my watches I obtained from wholesale groups fighting 80,000 other people for the same deal versus the start of my career 2 years ago where 100% of my purchases were bought that way. So the way I've built my business, I'm not in wholesale groups that much. I'm not stocking at high prices and selling for small 3% margins. If you're interested in learning how to build something the same way, drop me a comment down below. Buying, selling, trading, sourcing, money management, finding and focusing on the retail customer. These are all things I go over in either a 3 or 6 month mentorship program. This is a mentorship. I'm not making a bunch of courses and recording them and asking you to watch them. These are live calls, 4 to 5 calls for the mentorship, maximum 1 to 3 people. So a lot of one-on-one attention, small group setting. What I find is people benefit from other people's questions that they might not think of, but it won't be more than 3 at a time. I hold your hand in getting you started the way I did. I wish somebody would have helped me 2.5 years ago. It would have saved a lot of time and money. All right, so this is what you stay to the end of the video for. In May, with the 9 transactions, I made $42.55, so $4,255. This was less than March and April, where I made about 50% more than that. I attribute that to the lower average cost of these watches. Also, I had to get rid of that Girard-Perregaux that I was stuck with. I took a loss on that one. And overall, I think the market with Memorial Day, I just seemed like I had a lot of lowball offers, which is the case with Facebook, but it just seemed more so this month. Again, maybe it was people not wanting to spend money on Memorial Day because they're already taking vacation. So that's it for the video. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this was interesting. If you're interested in kind of getting a sneak peek of becoming a part-time watch trader, doing this as a side gig, looking into the numbers, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing one of these at least at the end of each month. We talked about the mentorship. If you're interested in learning more about that, feel free to drop me a comment down below. Follow me on my Instagram, my watch guy, one word. With that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.